Can we talk about Ratchet & Clank 2002? Just like with Sonic Unleashed, Ratchet & Clank was one of the games I played when I was pretty young, and it became actually one of the first franchises I got into as a child. I think this game is a really good introduction to the Ratchet & Clank franchise, but I will admit there were flaws, and this time I was not a fan of them. To get this off my chest, I just want to say those hoverboard races sucked. Those levels were so hard to do. You have to hit every single boost pad around the map, but the problem is the enemies are still faster than you, so you're gonna have to hit every boost pad without missing, and you're gonna have to hit every shortcut on the map without falling even once. Thankfully, on the second one, you get a gun to shoot the opponents, so win-win on that. Second thing is, it was pretty annoying to have gadgets take up your inventory, but I guess it's okay, it doesn't get in the way that much. Besides, your weapons are pretty good anyways on their own. And also, it's a bit annoying when your weapons don't upgrade, and the only way you can upgrade them is by buying a golden version. Last thing I want to go over is that the game's combat system is a bit janky and frustrating. When you're aiming, you can't walk backwards and aim. You just have to hope that you can stand still and fire, which is very frustrating, as I said, because enemies are very tough, and especially with the health bar of yours, you only can get hit 4 times, which sucks because if you want to get your health up, you're gonna have to pay 30,000 volts, which is garbage. Thankfully the first one is 4,000, so woohoo. Alright, now on to the pros. First thing I want to say, the story is pretty basic, but the execution is really good. It's the simple story of a rando meets a man on the inside, and they work together to take down the big bad. Ratchet, who is the last of his kind and stuck on the planet Veldin for the rest of his life, meets Clank, a defect robot who tells Ratchet he needs to find Captain Cork in order to save the galaxy from Chairman Drek's plan. So they travel the galaxy looking for Captain Cork to stop Chairman Drek, or they'll take them out themselves. The rest goes on, but if you're not interested in the story, then you will be definitely in the character development. Now, Clank doesn't really have that much character development, but when it comes to Ratchet, he's got a lot. In the beginning, you think he's a pretty chill mechanic, but then in the middle of the story, you learn that Ratchet is actually really petty and selfish once he fights his hero and realizes that he's not the man he once thought.
What do you know about me? You spent this whole time looking for Quark. You don't know anything about me.
Eventually, when he watches an info bot about how a peaceful planet got turned into a war zone, he changes and realizes that this is bigger than the both of them. And so he goes to help Clank again stop Chairman Drek.
It's really selfish focusing on Quark.
And on a bit of an unrelated note, Ratchet's also got the best comedy in the game.
Look, plumber's crack. Bet that's not all. We saw ya screaming for help.
Besides character development, there is also the weapon collecting and the gadget collecting. Well, not gadget collecting, but more like personal collecting. Collecting personal gear is fun to watch in the game, and it feels pretty nice too, especially since in the menu you can put them on even when you don't need them. Same for Clank. Though he's only got 3 upgrades, it's still interesting to watch him get them.
Yeah, you the man, Clank.
Same goes for collecting weapons. Though there's already a part in the video where you can see him buying a weapon, this shows it in his armory. If you click on the weapon in the armory, it'll show him doing an animation of toying around with the weapon. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot this bad boy.
Do I even have to say it?
Though the gadgets and weapons are nice, the problem is that they suffer from being too similar to Earth. By that I mean they feel like they're not alien-like, and that's what the planets suffer from as well. Though they may look like they are alien-like from when you're traveling to them, once you get there, they can feel like just deserts from Earth or cities. It's mainly the creatures that make you realize it's an alien planet, but some of the others can make you feel like it is alien-like, such as the Blarg's home planet that got polluted, and that lava-like place. I forgot the name of it, but it's a testing site for the Blarg. Last thing I want to go over is the shorter sections of the game, the slight changes in the gameplay. And that first one is Clank's levels. I really enjoy these levels. They make you think and make you realize that you're vulnerable, so you need to solve something to protect yourself. I really like that, and I like that they continue it in other games as well. One flaw I will say though that's not much of a flaw is there is not enough of these. It's called Ratchet and Clank for a reason. What is he, just not gonna be there? I guess that's why they called it Ratchet Deadlock, because you just single-handedly play as Ratchet. But I will say, those giant Clank levels were amazing. Punching through everything and shooting missiles, man, those were the good times. There's also the turn segments. The very first one you get into, you can get thrown off guard really fast. But once you get to that second fight, it gets really easy to do, and I actually did kind of want more to it. Despite hating it, I still wanted more throughout the game. The last gameplay segment is actually kind of my personal favorite, and I really enjoyed these throughout the other games. These were the ship levels. First, in the past games, they are very difficult, especially on the Quark fight with the ship. That can get very infuriating, but they kind of improve on it throughout those things. Like, going commando, when you have to fight those other ships in the asteroid belt, I think is what it was, but yeah, when you do that fight, it gets really interesting, and I like when they do that more throughout the games. Sadly, though, in most of the modern ones, they don't do that as often, but then again, it's really ripped apart. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's one more segment, and that's the boss fights. There aren't as many, but they're still pretty memorable, such as the final fight with Chairman Drek and his mech. I really like how they pull off Clank at first, like, you've got the upper hand, and then he shrinks you and you realize, nah, this ain't gonna be a fair fight. You gotta go hard on him. And even the Quark fight, though I already explained that was real tricky. I like that fight. But I never, ever want to see that centipede thing again. That fight is so hard, especially if you're trying to use your wrench. Oh boy, don't even get me started on that. Alright, I know this review is pretty long, but I really do hope y'all enjoyed that. I am One Man Kid, and I will see you next time on Can We Talk About Ratchet and Clank Going Commando.